Kavita ma'am, good evening.
Good evening, ma'am. Am I audible? Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I can hear your voice. Kavita ma'am. Kavita ma'am.
Solunga, ma'am.
Can we pause our recording?
I don't think so. Once Riya,
Possible, ma'am.
we can.
Okay.
The objective of the program is to enhance the programming skill of the participants as well as students, also to enhance the research skills among the students. Really appreciate the resource persons and our staff members, Mrs. PM Kavita and Mrs. S. Sindhu Madam. Both they are taking interest and initiate the program for the last 1 week before. See, really, I am very happy to inaugurate this program. This program really very useful for the students community as well as research scholars. Like maximum of the research scholars, they are requested to allow them. But anyway, we stopped the registration before 1 week. Now the students are coming still. If the program is continuous success, we will have a plan to start another 1 week program or 2 weeks program sometime. Training as well as machine learning. See, learning takes place everywhere. Nowadays, the recent computer technology, people are aware machine learning, everywhere we know machine learning. So, the premier institution have the responsibility to explain about machine learning and the benefits, how it is used to implement or develop through Python. So, we are taking the responsibility and organize the program such a kind. I welcome all the students. You can kindly attend the program continuously every day. Just you can attend and listen the concepts explained by the resource persons. At the end of the session, you may ask your questions. Is there any issue you can talk or you can communicate the resource persons at the end. Now I wish them all the students and the resource persons for the successful program. Thank you, madam. You can proceed now.
Thank you, sir. And I request participants to mute your audio and turn off your video. And you may just use the chat window to respond, or you can for interacting with us. And 2 weeks online summer internship program. I just list out what are the schedule we have planned with you. And in day 1, we are supposed to discuss about the introduction, the Python, why for machine learning, installation of Python. And in day 2, we'll be discussing about the libraries of Python, and it will be a hands-on session. Yeah, and day 3, yeah, sir, okay, sir. And in day 3, we'll be discussing about introduction to machine learning and the types of machine learning we have. And in day 4, we'll have the algorithms of machine learning. And in day 5, we'll be discussing about supervised learning and its concepts. And in day 6, we'll be having an assignment. We'll be posting you an assignment. And we expect the participants to complete the assignment and to post it in the GCR. And in day 7, we'll be seeing about unsupervised learning and the concepts. And in day 8, we'll be learning about unsupervised learning's logistical regression algorithm, and an assignment will be there for you. And in day 9, we'll be having how to find and how to search the data set. And in day 10, we'll be discussing about implementing data sets in the algorithm, and this will also be an hands-on session. And in day 11, we'll be seeing how to develop a machine learning model. And in day 12, again, we'll be having an assignment. And as such, we request the participants to complete the 2 or 3 assignments which we are giving in the overall training session. And we are expecting you people to submit these assignment in the GCR, so that we'll be evaluating your assignment and we'll be sharing you the marks. So the ultimate objective of this 2-week program is we expect the participants. Actually, we have around 320 registration and we have around 172 participants now. And we expect each and every participant should be capable of developing their own machine learning model, at least to their level. Right, because the registration is from school students. We have a +1 student got registered. We have UG students. We do have few research scholars, and we have some professors who registered for this program. And the ultimate objective is our students, our participants must be capable of developing their own model using machine learning algorithms and using the Python. Right. So with no further delay, we'll dive into our session. And in today's session, I'll be, once again, let me just stop sharing the screen.
Ma'am, Sindhu ma'am, introduce one.
So my fellow instructor is Mrs. S. Sindhu. So she'll also be handling the session along with me. So in today's session, I'll be handling the introduction part, and Sindhu ma'am will be handling the Python. Right? Every day we both will be there, and we'll be having some interactive session. We'll make this as an interactive session with the help of our participants, and we expect you people to interact with us. Only then we'll be happy whether the concept which we are trying to explain reaches you or not. Right? So I could see few participants are texting in chat window. So give me a minute so that I'll share my screen and I'll start up with the introduction. I think my screen is visible. Students, could you just give a very quick reply in chat window so that I'll proceed further?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible, ma'am. Go ahead.
Thank you. Fine. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for the response, guys. Thank you very much. So feel free to interact with us so that we'll be very happy. Screen visible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Is no, actually I'm just asking my presentation. I don't think my presentation is visible.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
No, my presentation.
We can view your desktop only. We can't view your CPT.
One second.
Yeah.
I'll share the screen again. I think now my presentation screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
So in today's session about the introduction. So we all know machine learning. Why machine learning? I request participants to use the chat window and respond me. Why machine learning, or do you know anything about machine learning? we'll see a basic introduction about machine learning. And before that, let me check the basic level of understanding whether the participant have some understanding about machine learning. To replace human activity, very good. Any other response or any other answer? To know depth about the machines, okay? The language which can machine understand, fine, okay? Fine. So machine learning, actually, the term machine learning itself has the meaning like we are making the machine to learn something. Like we people have the basic intelligence, right? So by seeing an apple, I can say this is apple. By seeing green apple, I can say this is green apple. By seeing some other fruit, I can name what fruit it is, or which fruit or which family this fruit belongs to, right? So this is the basic intelligence a human being has, right? So we are trying to incorporate this particular intelligence in machines also, because we people are trying to interact a lot with machine nowadays, right? That too in this pandemic, everybody is having a mobile with us, and we are interacting with mobile, no chat with our family members. We are using this lockdown period to interact only with mobile and ourselves, right? So we are trying to make the intelligence which human has to make the machine understand what we are trying to do, right? So I want the machine learning. For example, I am taking this class, right? So my expectation is if this machine handles the class, how it would be. So what should I do before this machine needs to start the class? So I need to train the machine, right? So this comes under machine learning, making the machine learn and making the subset of like how the human intelligence, we are just trying to make a copy of human intelligence. That comes under machine learning, right? And, so the outline of this particular presentation is I'll be discussing about what is machine learning and the evolution of machine learning and why do we need this machine learning and how this machine learning works and the applications of machine learning. And what is actually machine learning? As I told you, to make the machine think and to make the machine learn what we expect. So once we start training the machine, what will happen? These machines try to react to the human interactions. For example, you people would have been familiar with Alexa, right? How many of you know Alexa? We have Google Assistants. How many of you know that? We have Google Assistant. Instead of typing numerous, yeah, you, okay, Reshma, okay, fine. So what we'll do in that? Instead of typing too many letters put together, what we'll do? We'll just turn on the assistants. We'll be trying to speak what is the question, and so that particular machine will respond accordingly, right? So this is called Alexa, and this is actually we are trying to build and we are trying to fill the gap between human and the machine, right? So it makes the task very simple, fine. So what we'll be doing is, many would have come across chatbot, right? So when you type some comment, like how many of you gone through Zomato's chatbot? How many of you have come across Zomato's chatbot? Whether my order is placed or not, is my order got delivered, is my order under process? Yes, right? So what is that? The questions would be fed in the system previously. According to the question which we are typing, it will be reading the question. It will, according to the intelligence which it has, it responds, right? This is actually machine learning. Nowadays, we do have lots of machine learning applications which we are using in our real-time life. Chatbot is one best example. Recognition of voice is exactly Sonali. So this Zomato's chat window, we do have Alexa, which responds according to the voice, based upon the voice and based upon the question we are asking. So we do have lot of real-time application which we are using it day by day, right? This is all about machine learning. And what is machine learning? We do have it. You would have seen lot of images like this in your Google. When you start browsing, what is machine learning actually, or what is artificial intelligence, or what is deep learning? Deep learning is again a vast area. Okay, so when you start searching about machine learning in Google, what will happen? You would have come across this particular image. Circle, a very big circle. The first circle is of artificial intelligence. Within it, we have machine learning. Again, within machine learning, we have deep learning. what this particular picture try to explain is artificial intelligence is a common area where this machine learning and deep learning comes in. Okay, so generally the definition of this particular machine learning or deep learning when we search will again get machine learning is subset of artificial intelligence, and deep learning is again subset of machine learning, which is again the subset of artificial intelligence. This is the common definition of deep learning or machine learning when you search in Google, right? So this artificial intelligence, making the artificial intelligence to inbuilt inside a machine, we are working towards, right? So this machine learning and deep learning, as I told you, deep learning is again a very vast area. And now in this 2 weeks FDP, the main objective is to make you get you a clear picture or idea about what is actually machine learning. And we are using Python to work with the libraries and packages inside the machine learning and to create the models, right? So next, moving on to the evolution of machine learning. We all know, right? See, evolution of human, when we search evolution of human, we would have got monkey picture will be there, and a monkey will be standing, and it would be developed to a person again till now. That we used to call it as evolution, right? So in machine learning evolution, initially we can't say like machine learning is the recent trend or emerging trend. The reason is in 1950 itself, it got evolved. In 1950, Alan Turing proposed machine intelligence. Like he proposed that we can make the machine intelligent than human being. So by using this particular machine learning or making this intelligence in machine, what happens is a machine thinks a lot than human being. Machine gives the exact accuracy than. I request the participants to mute your audio as well as to turn off your video. I request the participants to turn off your video, please. Request the participants to turn off your video as well as to mute your video. So moving on to our session. So in 1915 itself, machine learning start its evolution, and in 1955 again the term was coined as artificial intelligence. And in 1964 we got chatbot, and now it is actually very familiar, and we are using all these chatbots nowadays. But still, in 1964 itself, this chatbot came into picture, and in 1989 we have autonomous vehicle. You all would have come across the name Tesla, right? What is Tesla? Tesla. Automatic cars, automatic vehicle. Anybody would have come across the term automatic vehicle? Driverless car, all right? So this is actually coined in the year 1989 itself. Right, in 2002 we had robotic vacuum cleaner. So this is actually the evolution, and I have picked very few evolution. Actually, we can even pick year by year and month on month development also. Right, in 2017 we have AlphaGo. What is AlphaGo, my dear students? AlphaGo. AlphaGo. This is actually a game. How many of you are familiar with tic-tac-toe game? Tic-tac-toe or XO game. We'll be calling in our terms XO. We'll be marking X in a box. O in opposite person will be marking O, and we need to organize this X or O in same line. So that will be the winner. XO game. So it will be called as tic-tac-toe. Else AlphaGo is one more game. It is similar to that of tic-tac-toe, right? So AlphaGo is very difficult game, which human itself, they themselves will be suffering a lot. They'll be facing a lot of obstacles to win that game. So AlphaGo was the game which in 2000 year, with the help of machine intelligence, that in that year machine won the game, right? So So I have marked 2017. So in 2020, obviously you people would have come across Sophia, the robot Sophia. Yes? In the beginning or in the mid of 2015 to 2020, we had lot of robots similar to Sophia, right? So we have lot of robots which does all the work that human does. In fact, the work done by Sophia is unmeasurable, because even human beings get tired and we may get stuck up in some way. But Sophia doesn't get stuck up, and it is bold enough to answer all the questions, right? Can anyone say what was the thrilling answer which the Sophia answered for the interviewer? It was really shocked, you know. That answer was really shocked, and it ruled, it was, what to say, it destroyed humanity. Very good, Aditya. When the interviewer was asking whether you will destroy human being, Sophia replied, yes, we'll be destroying the human. That was really a shocking answer, which was not expected from Sophia, the robot, and that was the start of robots, right? We people would have come across the Terminator, the movie Terminator, right? What will happen in Terminator at the end, in climax? Mission starts ruling the human beings, and human beings will be under the control of mission. Who knows, maybe within a decade or 2 decades, we may be under the control of robots. We are into that particular era. So moving on to why do we need this machine learning? Actually, human intelligence, I have just mentioned very few points because I should not take much of time in this theoretical part. So I've just mentioned very few points. In human intelligence, there is a chance of failing, right? And whereas when we compare it with artificial intelligence, humanoid or the bots which is being created definitely won't be failing, right? So that is obviously we work on that. We'll be working on that to that extent, like that mission doesn't get failed, right? So the knowledge will be very much limited to human beings, whereas in artificial intelligence, the knowledge is wider and the processing speed is very less when compared to artificial intelligence or humanoid. Human has very low processing. If I take this class continuously for 1 hour, I'll be able to handle. If I take this class for another 1 hour, yes, of course, I'll try to manage. If I take this class for 5 hours, what will happen? My energy will be drained out and I'll be drained out completely and it is difficult. What if I take the class for 24 hours? Again, it is not possible. But when we move on to artificial intelligence or humanoid, it is possible, right? So this is the reason why we are moving to machine learning. Right? And next, how does this machine learning actually work? This may little bit confuse you, but I definitely would say, like, after you complete this 2-week program, definitely you would have come across. Definitely you people have a knowledge. What is training data? What is algorithm? What is model input? And what is prediction? These terms may be somewhat complicated for you at this level today. Maybe after this 12 or 14 days of training, you will definitely come across these terms and you will definitely have a basic idea about what is training data, or what is the training, what is mean by training, what is model input, all those things, right? So you can just see a new input data will be there. I'll be giving those data as input to my machine learning algorithm. And those data will be converted to training data. Again, this training data will be combined along with some machine learning algorithm and the model will be developed. And with the help of those model and the new input data, what will happen? We'll be predicting something. For example, if I'm trying to train a machine, like I'm just giving lot of samples, let us consider fruit example, right? So I'm just showing a machine of apple of different size and different shapes of apple, the cut apple, and the apple which is being cut into parts, and the color of apple is being changed. Whatever it is, I'm just training my machine. Okay, after the complete training, if I just show a piece of apple or the full apple, what will happen? Machine will obviously say the answer that this is the apple. Or machine, if I show some other fruit like mango or something, what will happen? Machine will say this is not apple, because I'm just training my machine to be and to answer whether this is apple or not. I'm not training my machine to answer this is apple or mango or some other fruit. I'm just, my only objective is to train the machine to say whether this is apple or not. This way we'll be working together, right? This is the way how the machine learning model works, right? This part we used to call as classification, true or false. For example, if I just give a set of input to my machine, like for your say suppose your quarterly mark, your half-yearly mark, and your test marks like SA1, SA2, FA marks, I'm just inputting to my machine and I'm training my machine. If I give some set of input and the machine will be predicting, these students will get through in the exam, final exam or not. This is the way we'll be training. We'll be giving some set of instruction and we'll be making the machine to answer whether this is true or false, whether this is correct or wrong, whether this is this case will pass or fail. So this we used to call it as classification, right? This is the way machine learning works. I think I'm boring a lot. Am I participants? Am I boring?
No.
Right. So moving on to applications of machine learning. So you all know very well machine learning plays a vital role in gaming industry, right? So speech recognition, natural language understanding, and machine learning models. Again, machine learning models, we are developing lots of machine learning models. We do have robotics, image recognition. This Apple, predicting apple or some other fruit comes under image recognition, right? In healthcare industry, you would have come across the robotic surgery labs are there in our hospitals, right? So this comes in machine learning, again plays a vital role in health industry. And when we train a machine, we give some set of instruction like this is the diabetic patient's record. If I give some diabetic set of record to my machine, it will definitely say whether this patient can take this dosage or not, whether this particular dosage is good for this patient or not. This way we can make the model to think and we can react. The model can react. This comes under healthcare industry, machine learning in healthcare industry. And next is stock market prediction. This is actually most wanted area where the people are investing huge volume of amount in stock market. And if we produce a very good machine learning model and which says whether this particular stock market will get a hike or not. If we predict a model in that way, our model will go into crores and crores. We can sell our model, right? And next in automobile industry, you all know. First, actually, I would like to record this particular automobile industry was the first area where this artificial intelligence came into existence, because we were not expected like human being to do all this sort of packing work or to lift the product and to place it in some other place. So this way automobile industry made some hand robotic arms. Many people would have seen in Travel and Living. How many of you have watched Travel and Living, Discovery Channel? Those channels, you would have seen packaging, the place where they used to package huge volume of boxes. They'll be packing, right? You would have not seen manual packing, right? You would have seen machinist trying to pack or machinist trying to lift the object and placing it into some other place, right? So this way automobile industry started, they need some robotic arm. So this way machine learning came into picture through automobile industry. Next is home security. As you all know, we are moving on to IoT combined with machine learning, where when there is some leakage of gas, our gas or our knob should be switched off automatically. This way machine learning works, right? This is actually very few example I'm trying to state out. And banking sector, obviously, we do have lot of chatbots. We have ATM. ATM is also machine learning model, but it is actually a very small level machine learning model, right? We do have lot of chatbots. And with the help of chatbot itself, we can create account. Nowadays, we do have that facility also, right? These are a few applications of machine learning. I think I have come to end of my session, which I would like to convey. Do you people think this is useful for you to know what is machine learning, how this is useful? Are you people clear with this, guys? Guys, are you there? Clear? Was it interesting? Yes. Okay. I could see lot of. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. I'm stop sharing my screen and I'm handing over the session to my co-instructor, Mrs. S. Sindhu. She'll be taking care of Python and she'll be training you a lot in Python. Try to utilize her session, my dear participants. Over to you, Sindhu ma'am.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. I think my screen is visible to everyone.
No, ma'am. No. No, your screen is not.
Yes, I'm trying to do it again.
Yes,
ma'am. It's
Now it's okay? Kavita, ma'am?
No, ma'am. இல்ல முன்னாடி visible இருந்துச்சு. Now it is not visible. Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Sorry. Nothing. When it starts to visible, I just stop sharing.
Okay.
Okay.
I think it's taking some time.
Without any delay, I just start the session. Today, I'm going to teach you something regarding this basics about the Python programming languages. I hope now the screen is visible. Yes, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Thank you for your responses. Yes, I just started with the Python programming languages. Before starting the session, I would like to share why we need a Python for a mission level, that is mission learning. Missions are going to learn by using any languages. Why we are preferring the Python? Yes, of course, it's a powerful technology as the word I can say, because of the reason machine learning or deep learning, data science, whatever you want to go it by itself, you have to spend much more time for the training the data, for classification, for regressions, feature extraction, identification of data. So many features are there you have to do. This is what the terms you have to give more important to the other than the algorithm. But Python have thousands of more inbuilt libraries are there. So you don't want to spend much more time for only for creating algorithm, especially because the algorithms will be take more than 2000 or 3000 line of instruction. In case of if you're suppose using C languages, it occupied more line of instruction, and of course you have to include it for every kind of classification. You have to include the individual package, you have to download it, and you have to install it onto that particular software at all with it for supporting that kind of that applications at all. But avoiding these things with the help of Python is very easy, convenient, because of so many inbuilt library files are there. You just include the files. Even you don't want to spend much more time for importing statements at all. It is automatically work by together, and we don't want to spend much time for creating algorithms. You have to directly focus for the classification, regression at all. I just started with us. For a Python, I used Google Colab. That's your wish. There are so many softwares are there. You maybe use like PyCharm and NumPy is there. You can use it anything. But I preferably to do them Google Colab because of the reason even you can able to work with the any environment anywhere in your world. That's what I'm preferring. Okay, just started with the Python. Python. Who's the author of the Python is Guido van Rossum. He was the author. That is nothing a special meaning at all. He just watched one web series that is a comedy series that is a Monty Python Flying Circus. From that name, he inspired with the name of Python. That's what he put the name of the software as a Python. Guido van Rossum is the author of the Python. Why we need a Python? Especially the best reason, it's an open source. We don't want to spend any much of money or anything at all. Just to download it, you can use with the system. Even you can easily access your cloud storage also. It's quite faster because we don't want to use some syntax. Like for example, main function is there. After the main function only have to give it. And like a Java programming public static void main is there. So lengthy statements are there. But in a Python, we don't want to give a lengthy statements at all. In short, everything we can able to give it. It is OS independent languages. What is the OS independent language? That application can be runnable by any operating system. But everything cannot be like that. So many applications cannot fit with any one of the any kind of the operating system. But one of is there, PyCharm installer is there. With the help of that software, even that device cannot support that Python application or Python executable file, you can make them to be possible. So that is the Python installer is there. With the help of that, OS that could be support the all applications. That's what we said, OS independent language. I'm sure this assurance will not give any other languages, because every operating system cannot support all the application. But we can make them to possible even for your Python with the help of Python installer. It is very less time to take in for the security. We don't want to give much more time for the security purposes, because once you designed the application, that will be converted into Py because it is having the interpreter. So we don't want to spend much time for that. And why Python is used to develop what are all the kinds of application. First application is web development application and system scripting level languages, software development, and the mathematics. In that matplotlib, image processing, everything can be easily possible with the Python. And especially I can say some application, real-time applications in used by Python, like your Google, Facebook, Twitter, even Flipkart, everything. So many applications are used at least Python as one of the two. I can say the best example, your Flipkart. You're all using a Flipkart. Once you're trying to view the one particular product, it automatically zooming. When you're going through that, the product will be zooming your screen. It shows the entire image. Even you can move the image over the screen with the help of Python tool. Flipkart was developed by PHP language, but that particular work has been done by only in a Python. Like these features are inbuilt by the Python. So I can say some of the softwares. First software, like you can use text editor. Even you can use a text editor, Notepad at all. You can save the file with the Py. Okay. Then next, what are the IDs there? Sony, PyCharm, NetBeans, Anaconda, and Python Jupyter Notebook. So these are all that familiar with that. Is it easily, these are all softwares are open source. You can download it. You can work with it. Otherwise, if you're referring these softwares in the sense, Google Colab in the sense, just to go to the Google and type the Google Colab. Okay, I will show you just a second. Yes, this is what a Google page. Just to click it onto Google Colab. Google Colab. So you just move on to the directly to this page. Whatever you did it, that should be kept on to your drive storage only. Whenever you want, you can able to refer it. Okay, we just move on to the programming part of the Python. Okay, first the thing is variable declaration. So you know that whatever you want, you have to keep some data that could be kept on to some specific memory. Without memory, we cannot refer for a future reference. Of course, if I want to talk to you, I have to take into the Zoom. Otherwise, I cannot talk to you. So I'm giving some space in a Zoom that you are stayed with the Zoom. I'm talking to you. Like that way, variables are working. You're all clear with this knowledge. And just go through on it. Variable declaration, that is nothing special statement in the Python languages. You don't want to give integer A, B, C like that way. Just give variable name equal to value or input statement. That is no need for variable declaration. Directly variable definition is there. A equal to, here I gave the example, A equal to 10. A equal to 10 in the sense, the Python based upon the value, the data type will be automatically considered. Is it a 10? So it is an integer value. Python will consider A as an integer variable. So don't bother about it. Once we assigned a 10, so we cannot take another than the data type to the A. That's of course not. Once if you assigned with integer, by that time it is act as an integer variable. By the same example, I can give it like A equal to hello in the sense, by the time the A variable will be considered as a string data type. So it will be based upon the values of that variable. Data type will be automatically considered. So first I'm giving this A equal to 10. Next, the statement I gave you like here is print of A. Print statement is used for a output statement here. Print of within a function bracket. You can use double quotes or single quotes or a triple quotes. You can use it any one of this code. Separator as comma. What I'm trying to say here. Okay, first I will execute this program. A equal to 10. When I'm running this code, I can get 10 as the output. You can see here, there's a 10 as the output. So next I'm going to change it some other thing. Okay, I will put it here. It was running. So when I'm giving the instructions over there, the print of A, this is the value of A, this is the value of the B. Like that way I can able to give it. Okay, and just move on to the input string. When I'm giving input as a string, like, okay, I'll just little scroll down. Okay, I'm changing here. First, A as assigned with 10. When I'm printing A, we will get 10 as output. By that time, A variable will be considered as integer data type. On the next code, A has been assigned with string data type. When I'm assigning with string data type to the variable of A, the same A will be used here. That will be changed into the string data type. So A equal to Manoj, I'm printing of A. If I'm giving, I can get Manoj as an output. Okay, then I can work with here. I'm trying to work with here. Okay, I'm going to print the result is. I closed, I'm giving comma. So you can able to get an idea about how we can give a string to print in a print statement. This result is, I'm printing after the comma, I'm putting B. Okay, I'm going to execute this. When I'm executing this program, I may get the output like the result is Manoj. Like that way I can get an output. Okay, you can see the result. The result is Manoj. I got output. Okay, I just move on to the how to take runtime input. Move on to the runtime input. See this code. A equal to input of here. The input is act as a getting input from the user, which is called a runtime input. User want to get given to the input of the variable with the help of input statement is used to get it. Like our printf statement, like our cout statement, system.out.println statement, like that way, but it is act as an input. Okay, A equal to input of enter the data. When I'm giving the statement, it asks me to enter the data to be the usages. I'm running again. It will be asked to me. It asks me enter the data because that statement has enclosed with input box. Yes, it's just asking enter the data. I'm giving 20. There is no need for only 20 integer value or float value. Whatever you gave, that will be considered as. Okay, I'm giving 25. When I'm giving 25, after entering my screen, I can get 25 as the output because in output, I gave only print of A. If it is print of A, I can get only 25 on my output screen. Okay. It's a little bit of time because I'm sharing my screen with data sharing was slow. Okay. It will take some more time. We will move on to the next. Message. So I have I just done with the constant input with the program. First, message equal to hello. Message is a data, it's a variable, will be assigned with the value of hello. Next, I'm assigning one integer n equal to 10. Next, we will assigned with e equal to 2.71. Okay, you may show the result that 25 we got it on output screen. Okay, okay. Print the message with the string. Like our programming languages, here also we can able to combine more than one data into single printf string. Here, print message comma m as one of the string that could be concatenated with the n value, and that could be concatenated with minus of e value. Okay, that's what the format I'm trying to print it over the screen. So our message is hello m 10 minus 2.71. We got output as onto the screen. So these are all very, very simple programmings. I'm just want to feed it about it. If does not know any having about knowledge of basics, I'm just feed it. Okay, we are always knowing about a simple program. Addition of two numbers using runtime input. That's what we made it here. A equal to input of A value. When I'm giving this, it may ask to enter A value. Like that way, B value, it just asks a string like B value. When I'm giving two of the input, that will be added that will be printed on output screen. But I would like to remember one point on here. Like our Java programming, Python also will take all input as a string format. I'm repeating the same word, all input as a string format. Before we gave one statement, a equal to 10. By that time, it is integer only. It is not a string. You can do with the, you can go with the integer format of data, calculations and whatever it is you want to do. But here, a equal to input of. Whenever we use the statement input, whenever we used input statement, the entered data will be considered as string only. But here I'm doing C equal to A plus B. The plus is act as concatenation operation for a string. It will not addition calculation. So it will be print. For the A value, we have entered A value 12, B value 21. The A is 12, B is 21. Then the addition is 1 to 2, 1. It is just concatenated. Because of the reason, we entered the data using input box. With the help of the input box, whatever we gather, that acts as a string format only. Then how we do the calculation? With the help of conversion, which call the term typecasting. Typecasting given here. A equal to the same program, I'm going to be changed this into the exact addition of two numbers. The first term, A equal to input of A value. B equal to input of value. So we got some two data. Next, we are doing addition. So if we did C equal to A plus B, it is a string, it will be concatenated. So use typecasting method, int of A. Whether you want to convert float, you can use float of A. So that's called as conversion or typecasting. C equal to int of A plus int of B. If we given here, that will be the answer becomes 24. I'm running this program. You may get clear. It just asks me to enter A and B value. At the term of reading, it will be a string. When I'm calculating addition, it becomes into integer. Okay, first I'm entering 25. I'm pressing enter key. It has to ask me about to enter the B value. Yes, I'm entering again 25. I'm entering. I have to get the result as A is 25, B is 25, then addition is 50. I have to get like that. Okay, we may wait. We may wait while a second because you have to clear about this basics. Okay, that's it. So this is what a term. In before the languages, you have to be remember. We are always writing main function, import statement, include statements, and open bracket, close brackets, at all anything. But here you can notice one thing. We doesn't do anything like that. We simply give A equal to. Here we didn't give a declaration statement. Directly we give A equal to input of value, B equal to input of value. We are adding that conversion after the integers, then make them into C and print it onto output screen with the print statement. That's it. So we did it very simply. So that's all the main reason we are preferring the Python. We move on to the Python. For a lengthy concept, for a larger concept, we may make them to smaller amount of code, and so many built-in library files are there. We can easily make them to be possible for every supervised and supervised data for a data science and whatever it is. Like I will move on to the importing. If you want to do some math.h, mathematical functions, I can import. It's not compulsory, but I can make them into. If you want, use import math. Print math.power of 2, 3 means you can get the 2 power of 3. It's an 8 is answer. Like that way, I can able to print. So I'm trying to convey this method. Like your programming also, there are so many, all the header files included which has been used in your previous programming. Here also will be applicable. You can use all the existing feature in the Python. Additionally, so many other features are there. That's other features only we are going to be learning in the furthermore classes. Okay. Are you clear with till the end? If anybody having doubt with these parts? Shall I continue?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Continue, ma'am.
Continue.
Yes, thank you. Data types. Data types as usual. So it's used to represent what type of data. Of course, data types must be needed because the interpreter and it's a machine. Machine does not know what type of data is reading. Of course, you have to initiate it. We have to tell to the computer, okay, I'm going to read. The person has to enter the only integer number in the ATM machine. They have to enter the name. They have to enter the 12-digit account number right now. Like that way, we have to represent it. But we don't want to declare it here. Based upon the input, it automatically considers. Otherwise, you can validate the data. That validation also will be possible. Yes. And what are the data types? Integer, float, complex, Boolean, strings are known. But other few extra, one more features are there in here. Python, list, tuple, range, dictionary. And strings also there. Okay. List is nothing but your array. Everything is array, like array only, but have some different features. List is also a collection of data. Tuple is also a collection of data. Range is used to print only the range between this and that. Dictionary is also a collection of different data items together for a keeping to the single package. So like our structure, union, and array, we are keeping this. Like we don't have a pointer on here. For that reason, directly it can support everything as act as a pointer only. Okay, I just move on to the special statement indentation. So in a Python, you have to remember some few keywords at all. So what are the main keywords I can say? Especially it is the indentation. Indentation is nothing but specify the block of code. Here before, we want to specify anything like a block. I said now open braces, close parenthesis, open parenthesis, how to give for each statement. And whilst loop or wherever you want to give a block of code, we are always inserting open parenthesis, close parenthesis. The curly braces we are using. But still in a Python, curly braces are used only for a dictionary and tuple, not for in a block of code. Okay. Here we have to use only indentation. What is mean by indentation? That's 5 space, you know, na? Whenever we heard the Word document, we used tab space. Tab space are 5 space. You know that. Here we have to specify indentation. Indentation, it's a combination of colon symbol and single tab space. That's act as a indentation place. Indentation tells us a block of code. How I am giving here? So first x equal to 0. I'm assigning. So if x less than 10, we have to specify some true block code. By the time we have to use colon symbol. If you're not giving a colon, it never considered as a block. It never consider as next indent statement as act as a true block. It will never consider. So in a Python, you have to keep these points to be remembered. Colon symbol. After the colon symbol, you have to give one indent space. So I can give you, first I will remove this. If I'm giving enter key, the cursor directly move on to the if statement that down after the I statements. When I'm giving colon here, I'm giving enter key, you can check it over. Now the cursor is move on to little more far away from the I. It's giving some space. It's called as indent space. Indent space, indentation is considered as a block of code. Whenever you can give number of statements in a with indent space. I can give like print hi. If I'm not giving, you can remember one more point. I didn't give any semicolon on here. No need semicolons at all. Okay, and I'm giving print statement. Print of hi. So in this, each statement, I'm giving a block of code. If it is true, print hi, print x is less than 10. Both will be a true block statement that will be printed on your output screen. If it is yes, it will be print only one statement. Even for if you want to give a block of code for else, you have to mention colon symbol and indent space for else. And of course, you have to give a default statement. Next time move on to the next, it automatically move on to the indent space. If I'm suppose don't want any statement in else block mean, I can just give a backspace to write print single quotes finish. Okay, in a Python you can use single quotes or double quotes or triple also. Okay, you can use triple quotes also. Here also I can able to use 1, already I'm giving 1, 2, 3. I can give like this also. It will also will be work here. Okay, I can move. I'm running this application. X is assigned with 0. We are comparing with x less than 10. If it is true, high, and less than 10 will be printed. Of course, we got output as high, x is less than 10, and finish. Because finish is a default statement. It does not belongs to if statements. It is a default statement. It will be printed on output screen. Even if the value is less than 10, okay, I'm going to change the value better. For a class, I'm giving 100. When I'm trying to run, I may get output as x is more than 10, finish. Because finish is not depending on anyone. Yes, I got output x is more than 10. Okay. The string functions. So as usual, string functions are sequence of strings is act, a sequence of characters act as a string. There are maybe have text value. It can be enclosed by single quotes or double quotes or triple quotes. So we know single quotes no, double quotes no. What is a triple quotes? Triple time of single quotes or double quotes. Okay, that's just called as a triple quote. Even for your string, even for a printf statement, the triple quotes also will be supported here. It is not a command line. Here it is simple assignment of string only. Here I'm assigning. I'm used the same all the quotes. str10. It's a single quotes. First string has assigned with single quotes. Second string Vijay has assigned with double quotes. String third is assigned with triple time of single quotes. And string 4 has assigned with triple times of double quotes. I used double quotes thrice for opening as well as the closing. When I'm printing it, of course, I'm not struggle to print anything. I'm just getting output on my screen. That's Mano, Vijay, Manoj, and Mohan will be printed without any hesitation. And next, that is one more advantages on here. We can use pre-multiplication in. If you give like strings has multiplied with integer in the sense, that number of time that string will be printed on output screen. So here I gave 3 asterisks, single quotes of in. Even you can use double quotes, okay? Don't bother, don't confuse with that thing. 3 asterisks, single quotes of in plus IM. On my output screen, I may get in IM because in will be print price because I gave 3. Not only 3, you can give on my next example, I gave 3 asterisks in plus 2 asterisks hello. So 3 times in will be print, 2 times hello will be get printed on output screen. So likewise, string can be indexed. This is what a normal thing. You can able to index by the string. But one thing I would like to say, you can't reassign the values of string because strings are immutable. You may hear this word mutable and immutable in Python only. Mutable in the sense you can change value anytime, anywhere. Immutable in the sense it's like a static. You cannot change. Once you assign, the value should be the same only. Like example, word I'm giving Python. Python only I gave it. Okay. Word 1. When I'm trying to print index number 1, it always starts from 0 to n-1 only. Python. So when I'm giving 1, y will be the output on my screen. Likewise, when I'm giving 4, it will be print n. When I'm giving -1 is nothing but to keep track of in the reverse order. So just think about it. You're in the word of Python first letter, like P. If it is reverse in the sense, you have to reverse order. So go on to the last data, that is n. N will be printed on output screen. Every strings are always starts first letter on your string only. Even you can access with negative index number on Python. Word -2. When I'm giving -2, it starts from P only, okay? P, it's move on to the first reverse order N, second reverse order O. So O will be the output of word of -2. So these are all this. You can able to access with index number even for a negative. We'll take it into reverse order. String slicing. Slicing is nothing but you have to slice on your original string. Like even initially we have a Python. So PYTON only I gave it. Word 0:3 in the sense it will print from 0 to 3. 0th character to 3 minus 1 second character. You have to keep to be word, remember. It will not print to 0 to 3. It will print 0 to 2 only. 3 will not get printed. So 0 to last minus 1. Remember that point. So it will be print PYT. When I'm not giving a starting point, word, I'm not giving starting point, just a colon of 4. It will be print from first letter to third letter. That is a 0 letter to third letter. Likewise, if you missed out to give the right side, that is, you may give 2 colon, nothing you gave it means, it will print from 0 to end. That's what called slicing. Slicing will may appear even for your tuple, strings, list, dictionary, everything. Slicing is a common factor. Even you can append it, but string cannot append process. 2 to 4, we can able to print second character to third character. It will not print fourth character. Next, 1 colon missing out the last. So it starts from 1 to end will be printed. This is what called string functions at all. I move on to the control structure. Control structures, as normal, like if statements, while a statement, for statement is there, I want to feed you one important point. There is no do while. In Python, no do while, only while. For each, nested if, anything you can give. There is no do while statement. And one more advantage is you can able to give else case. Even you know, yes is there in a if statement, nested is, even switch case is there. But in a Python, we have a else case for loop also. Else case for while loop also. We have a else case statement for these two. Else in the sense, if a condition is true, till the time that will be repeatedly work. If the condition becomes false, by that time we can execute some other statements. If it is false, we are always move on to the default in other language, but Python, we can move on to the else case state. Okay, I will show you one example. I think I move on to the almost 5.7. Okay, I just explain, just short and tell. Okay, I will share this code. I will share this code on your Google Drive with your GCR. You can work by today. I will help you to. If there is any doubt, you can contact me. I will help you to tell a clarification. Okay, I just move on to num equals to -5. If it is true, I'm printing a print. That's what already. The number is positive, else number is negative. So by this if statement, what we have to remember, the indentation. That's a colon symbol. After the colon symbol, if you think what are the block has been included, that has been given by the one indent space. That's what the terms you have to remember it. Okay, I will show you this while statement. Like while statement, yes, of course, I have to tell one more point. There is no increment decrement operator. If you want to increment one, why you have to use only +1 or -1. Like that way only you can use it. There is no direct increment decrement operator. Please forget the increment decrement operator in Python. I++, I minus, you can't give it here. N equal to 10, sum equal to 0. I'm just giving sum of individual numbers using while. I less than or equal to N colon because of block of code, this two statement, the sum statement and I equal to I+1. These two statement has enclosed in a block of code of while become as true. And but finally default the printing statement to be print. If it is else, of course I can give an else statement here. Okay, I'm giving else. Okay, without any space. Without indent space, I'm giving else colon print condition false. If I'm giving, it will be print as false. If it is false, of course, I think it will be print every time because once the condition becomes false now. When I'm executing this program, I may get the sum as 55. Before sum is 55, yes, of course, I want to show the result as condition false. Yes, condition false, we got it. So till the time the condition become executed, it is true. It will be calculated the sum of Once the condition becomes false, it move on to the condition false else statement. Then it will be print as sum. Whether the condition becomes true or false, of course, it will be printed on your output screen. So that's while else case. I have to remember some points in a control statement. Control statement for specifying block of code, indentation, and next there is no do statement, do while statement. And additional advantages, else for while, else condition for looping for loop also. So we have else, additional more advantage. I have to move upon list. List is nothing but a collection of data items. So it's nothing but array. It's like an array, but it is immutable. Sorry, it is mutable. You can add anywhere. Homogeneous data items. You can use a square bracket to assign the data. You can access with index number. You can add data at any particular point. These are all maybe discussed. Okay, I'll just show you the squares 1, 4, 9, 16, 25. I assigned with 5 values on this square. If you give the statement like that, the Python will be consider this squares as list data because of square bracket. In case I can tell you, if you used a function bracket, that is a table. If you used parenthesis, it's become into dictionary. Okay, 1, 4, 9, 16, 25. Again, I want to feed one point to be remembered. In case of array in the sense, in a previous languages, in array in the sense, we can able to give only integer a means we can hold only integer data. If it is float of a of 20 means we have to hold only the float of data. But it is a collection of data only. But there is no need to give only for integer. You can able to give 1, 4, hello, welcome, 25. We can give like this also. These are all the same input. So combination of input you can able to give. So list is simply collection of data. It's a mutable. You can change it at any time. Of course, it could be accessed with index number. That's 0, -1. Here also we have a slicing. Slicing in the sense, from the second character it will be print. Here the second data, it will be printed onto output screen. You can add the data also. There are different ways there. You can able to append. You can use 2 methods. One is append method. On another way is this plus symbol. Square is already we have 1, 4, 9, 16, 25. At present, we are adding 36, 49, 24 as we are just appending to it. And finally, it will be added these items onto the existing square. Square 1, 4, 9, 16, 25. These 36, 49, 24 is also added with the existing item. Or otherwise, you can use append of square dot append of this 64. This is also another method. But it's very simply you can add it. And sling slicing in the sense 2:5, that will be that. In case if it is a string, you can't do this because strings are immutable. You can't change the value. Only list and tuple will be that. Okay, next, empty list. You can able to create an empty list. Don't bother about it, whether only the values are must be enclosed. You can able to give an empty list also. How we can access for loop? For loop will be like this only. For variable as a temporary variable, in square as an array variable. This is what terms in a for loop. For where in squares. What it really happens, there are almost 6 to 7 elements are in a square. Every time of execution, it will be keep 1 by 1. First, one will come on to variable. It will be printed on output screen. After done this process, second data, third data. Likewise, it will be keep the data 1 by 1. That was a different way. Here also you can notice 1 point. I'm giving colon symbol and single indent space for specifying block of code. This is called as list. Likewise, tuple. Tuples is also same thing like a collection of data, but is immutable. It is not, it is, you can't be able to change the data at any time. Once you assign, the value will be same. Okay, that's what a tuple data. Tuple also will be, and the different is to use function bracket. In a list, we used square bracket to assign the value. In a tuple, we used function brackets. You can ask me the question. List is there. List can able to mutable, so we can able to change it. Why we have to move on to the tuple? Tuples are immutable. Then why we need this? Of course, we need this. Because of the reason, sometimes the data should be standard. it will be used only once. It will be assigned only once. You don't want to change the data. That time we are referring this tuple. Static. We are always referring dynamic. Why we go upon to the static? Some data must be static. Some data should be very constant. Where whoever tried to change it cannot be changed. That's what example I give you on this down. With the help of the index number only, we are printing in the tuple. When I'm trying to t of 0 equals to 25, I'm trying to change the value of the first character on the tuple. It show me the error. Because of the reason it is immutable. You can't change at any particular time. Once assign only. You can't able to upload. Likewise, you can able to nesting the tuple, like nesting, the 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional. You can able to give it any multi-dimensional data using tuple. Multiple assignments also will be possible, like x, comma, y, comma, z equal to t. If we given like that means, I'm sure it will not x, y, z become into same all the data which has been present in T. It was not the same. If you assign like that mean, first data will be keep on x. The second data from the tuple will keep on y. The third data from the tuple is keep on z. If you more than one data, it will be discarded. So that is assignment. If you want to assign with the same data to all the variable, you have to use equal symbol. X equal to y equal to z equal to t. If you use like that, that will be assigned with all the data into all the variables. If you give a comma, it means like tuple data separated by comma, these comma variable is assigned with one by one on each variable. Here I'm repeating x comma y comma z equal to t in the sense that first data will assign on x, second data will be y, and third data will be z. So that's what's shown on the next. I'm trying to x 1, 2, 3, y equal to 4, 5, 6, and z will be hello. Next one is a set operation. You know about the mathematical set operations. Especially the advantage of the Python is a set operation. You have to keep the data as into the sets. Of course, you have to go with all the set operations. One of the best advantages, you can't access any duplicate data. It automatically removes the duplicate data. You cannot able to repeat more than one data in the same sets. Okay, I can show you. Basket, I have assigned with some data. A, comma, O, comma, A. I'm giving duplicate data with A and A twice. It will take only A once, O once. It will not take one more A. That is called as a set. And of course, you can go with the operations of all the sets, union, intersections, assign, whatever it is, in operations, out, maximum, minimum, all the operations you can go with. Okay, in short, I will be finished. Okay, I will finish within 5:25. Python functions. Python functions. Can I get a suggestion? Till this is it clear? Guys,
Yes, ma'am.
shall I continue or shall we continue on tomorrow?
We can continue, ma'am.
Okay, okay, thank you. Python functions. Okay, still before functions are must be declared, prototyping is compulsory. At Python, no needed. Okay, just return the values must be the same. You don't want to specify any special return type because you know the Python does not have any data types to declaration. So we don't want to mention it what type of data we have to declare like that. We don't. If you want to return, you can give a return statement. That's it. How we can define the functions? It is def keyword, DEF. This def keyword, function name, colon symbol, as usual for an intent space. Okay, print welcome to Python. This is function definition. I have declared one function. Sorry, I have defined one function. Define print name with the print message of welcome message. How to call the function? Like a same thing. So don't get a confusion. So, you're always heard about this. We have to define the functions in somewhere. We have to call this function in a main. Not like that. Here, everything is act as a main when the block of code. Even if you are using PyCharm or Jupyter Notebook, wherever you are using, you don't want to use any main function. Directly, whenever you need to call the function, give the name of the function. Okay, this is first I'm giving simply to print the message. Like if you want to print the parameter, I'm giving here. Define print name, f name, where I'm passing the values from the function calling. when I'm calling this function with the Varun as an argument, that should be passed a parameter for F name. You'll be print the name of the person is Varun. I will get this as into the output screen. And I want to share more than one value. I want to pass more than one value. How could I means? I can use like asterisk keyword. It's like a pointer, na? But here we called only asterisk. Asterisk is nothing but to keep more than one data along with one variable. Here we passed as the name of Varun, Kumar, and Chandra. There are three inputs are there. There are three arguments are there. We passed these three arguments as it's a single parameter called asterisk kid name. Then how to access the data? Using index number or maybe directly you can give it. So don't use any ampersand symbol at all. This is not address and this is not like a pointer address at all. It's just a combination of data, collection of data. So when we are printing kid name, it will be print all the data those have passed as an argument to the parameter. Keyword argument, one of the another more advantages keyword argument. When anybody learned about Python, it have advantage. This is also will be there in a Python also, sorry, PHP also. That what is that? Name of keyword argument. The values are Varun, Kumar, Chandra only. But we are assigning the name for that variable. That name 1, name 2, name 3. That should be passed over there. Keyword argumenters differ from the variable name. It is not a variable name. It is like our pet name. Every people can have a pet name is differ from your original name. It's like a pet name. You can easily access because we don't know the index number. Some too many Priya is there. Priya and Priya is there. Both the Priyas can have a same initial mean. We can find it with their pet name or their register number at all. That is a secondary reference. Likewise, we are using. Then what is the use of these keyword argument in the sense? Avoiding the index. We can't remember everything else to be the argument. Indexed numbers. 0th index, 1 index, 2 index. What is the value for 3rd index? What is the value for 4th index? We can't keep to be remember everything. By the time we are referring this keyword argument, keyword values. By the time I know that the 3rd name, 4th name, I'm having some, not like that. It is exactly name 1, name 2, name 3. But we can't do like that. We can give like Varun as a first BCA student. There will be a 3rd BCA. There will be a 3rd commerce student. Like that way we have to specify it. That is keyword. Keyword will be accessible for array, that is list, tuple, dictionary also. Default parameter. Default parameter, you know this. I think so, but I'm telling again. Default parameters. If you supposed forget to pass the argument, by the time the default value will be taken. Sometimes we may take a decision, okay, he was like that, he was like that. If he didn't talk to me, I'm concluded with my point. If he talked to me, okay, he had somewhat point of view. Like that way, if you forget to pass any argument, by the time the default parameter will take into the part. I can say the first I passed Varun as an argument. So by the time Varun will be the output of the output screen. Then name of the person will be Varun. Next time I forgot to pass. In case if I forgot to pass the argument, if I'm not supposed to give a default or parameter in the sense, it will show the error. Undefined data, error will come. But default argument will rectify these problems. If I'm supposed to not forget, if I'm forgot to give argument, the parameter mono will be taken. Mono will be taken to the second name. A 3rd I pass to Chandra. So Chandra will be the output of the 3rd data. So default arguments are taken to place if not supposed to, exact parameter will be passed. Return statement. I told you, there is no special statement for return. Just to give only for return. When you want to return, you can return it. You don't want to give anything, integer return, float return, nothing at all. Def fun data value. Okay. I feel like to return the value. So I'm just giving return value. Nothing special I have included specially for return statement. Just to give a colon symbol, indent space with return value. If you return, same thing, it will stop execution of the current function to come out. At the same time, it will be return the value for the function calling. Still we are returning the function, calling value to be the 10. So output will be the 10. 10 will be printed on output screen. Recursion. Recursion will be the normal, that is nothing special. Yes. Special statement is past statement. If you're not having any definition part of your function, in other programming languages are say function definition missing. But it may be in future you may be define it. It cannot supported by any other language, but Python can make it. You can able to give a pass statement. If we give a pass statement, that will be the empty function. If it is empty function, there is no content. In maybe future, you can able to develop the definitions of the function. Because you can able to redefine the function. When it comes to the class and object, you may be clear with this. Okay. Okay, I think till the time it will be enough. Almost 5:25. I don't want to rush up yourself to be putting everything onto a single mind. Still, do you have any doubts with this?
No, ma'am.
Of course, you will not be because very clear because I stuffed many code at the single part. If already known, you can easily clearly understand. If it doesn't know, of course, please don't worry, people. Please work this code by today. That's what I have prepared the Colab. Because even if you have a mobile, you can work with the Colab. You don't want a systems at all. Please work with this program. Today, I will post this code, all this to the GCR. Try the programming and send the queries, whatever you had. If you suppose have, you can interact with me right now. Any doubts?
Hello, ma'am. Hello, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Gayatri, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Ma'am, what I should install for doing this coding, ma'am? What software I should install?
Ma'am, you can install PyCharm or Python Jupyter Notebook.
Ma'am, can you repeat it? PyCharm.
PyCharm. PyCharm. PyCharm.
CHARM.
PyCharm. Python Jupyter Notebook. Or you may try Python 3.8. Simply Python 3.8.4. If you want to work with only simple Python programming, these are all enough.
Okay, this is enough for doing your coding, no?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, of course. Enough.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
And else, if your system doesn't support PyCharm or Jupyter Notebook, you can go with Colab, which ma'am worked as of now. The thing is that you need to open a tab in Google browser. You just type directly as Colab, and you'll be getting a Colab notebook, or you'll be getting the Colab page. You can just click File, New Notebook, then you can start working. Sindhu ma'am, shall we wind up? Participants?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes? Okay, thank you so
We
much.
may continue the session tomorrow.
I'm posting the feedback link of day 1 in the chat window. Please do fill the feedback form. I think many participants have left before filling the feedback form. Anyways, I'll post this feedback form in GCR also. So fill the, and thank you so much, participants. Thank you for joining, and we'll meet tomorrow by 4.
Ma'am?
Yes,
Yes, yes.
Ma'am, actually, I can't able to register for this session, and I am not in the WhatsApp group as well as in Google Classroom, ma'am. But I am interested in this session.
Do you have my contact number? Do you have my contact number, ma'am?
No, ma'am.
See, I'm just typing my contact number in the chat window. You just note it down and call me after 5 minutes. Okay. Guide you. Reshma, is that fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Reshma? Okay, fine. So we'll be sharing all the notes in Google Classroom, so that I request the participants to join in Google Classroom.
Thank you very much.
We have shared the classroom Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, dear participants. Yes, yes. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. We are winding up the session, today's session, and we'll meet tomorrow by 4. Thank you so much, participants.
Thank you, ma'am.
Cindy ma'am, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.